Lexi lately. Today we're going to talk to you about some visual entertainment for your eyeballs. Today we'll have some guests that will talk to you about some great movies that you should go see. And most of these movies are kind of old, so if you haven't seen them, then you're sort of late.
The Person Being a Wallflower was written and directed by Steven Shabatsky.
Yes.
Starring Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller, playing Charlie, Sam, and Patrick. This is a film about really coming into yourself, because a lot of teenagers go through an awkward, period, kind of, I don't know, okay, where they're trying to find themselves, and then they eventually, find out who they're supposed to be. It's a lot good.
I like that movie. It was very good.
Yeah.
The novel was really good. I read it a few months ago, and I read it in 4 hours. I was addicted. It was really good. They did a really good job adapting it. Well, since Stephen.
4 hours?
4 hours.
What was the book?
Very short.
Oh, okay.
I read it in 3 days.
See?
I read it 3 days, 4
And
hours.
for the non-readers out there, I didn't read the book, and the movie was still awesome.
See,
It was
I
actually very similar to the film because this is one of those rare things where the writer of the actual book helps direct the movie. So it was cool. I liked it.
Cool.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie, just to see how well it was adapted, and also just because I love the book so much.
Yes, everyone should go see it right now. 500 Days of Summer is a movie directed by Mark Webb. It is about a greeting card writer who believes he will never be happy until he finds true love. And that's when he meets Summer and everything changes.
500 Days of Summer is like one of my favorite movies ever. I could watch it over and over again. But I thought it had like a really 60s style. Like it kind of reminded me of The Graduate when I was watching it.
But you watched 500 Days of Summer first.
Yes, I did.
How did it remind you of The Graduate?
I watched it again recently. Did you not hear me say it's one of my favorite movies?
I'm sorry.
I have not seen it. I've been dying to see it ever since it came out, and I've never had the chance to go see it. And I love Zooey Deschanel. I think she's a fabulous actress. And then, who does not want to see a movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt? I mean, come on, Kevin, you even think he's dreamy.
Okay.
You too. You're among friends. Don't worry.
It's okay.
And the camera.
And the camera guy.
It's okay.
Yellow Diaz.
Admit it.
It's okay.
It's
It's
admit
okay.
it.
Okay.
So he has a thing for Joseph Gordon-Levitt too. Have you seen it, Kelsey?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
To be clear, I haven't seen any of my movies except
Well,
The
you have-
Graduate.
That's why we have to
Watching all
include
of
the
it.
late.
You have seen the dancing clip, but that was the really.
That was it.
That's
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 all I
exciting.
see.
That's
I like the dancing clip with the little bird and there was like a
See,
little fake.
that's like,
It was very cute.
if I were to like film my life, that's how I would want it to be.
Same here.
Like a whole
Lots of
entire like
musical
random
numbers.
musical.
It's kind
in
of
the
bad
middle
in
of the
context,
street.
though, like with the movie.
Saying, like,
Does that
set
not
up
go with the
sounds.
movie?
I know it does, but the meaning of that scene
Oh.
with the meaning of the scene and what you're talking about are completely
Oh,
different.
okay.
Okay, I'm picking up on
Yeah.
that.
Isn't
I mean,
this,
I guess you could, but
isn't 500 Days of Summer a movie about like a girl and guy who like seemingly have a good relationship, but in reality they
Yeah,
don't?
it's
they're actually
well,
really
no,
dysfunctional.
It's a sort of like a
She's
boy
crazy?
meets girl kind of thing. She's not crazy.
Yeah, she's kind of crazy. I mean,
She doesn't believe in love. That's not crazy.
yeah,
It's actually
Crazy
a lot of people
call
don't
it.
believe in love. Like I believe in love, but like
Well, I believe in love, but I don't
she
know
kind
if
of
you
just
get, like,
uses them and then finds another person at the end.
so
Wait.
she kind of jumps from guy to guy.
Yeah.
Question. There are not 500 Days of Summer.
No.
No.
He knows her for 500
100
days.
days. And then on
And
the 500 days.
Is her name
finally was-
Summer?
Yeah.
No.
And then
That makes so much sense.
Yes.
and then ironically
Oh.
he meets Autumn.
Autumn.
Yeah.
Do you
Not
think that there's
fall.
a? Do you think there's like
Well,
some sort of?
spoilers. Well,
Oh,
okay, the
thanks.
thing
Do you
that I
think-
saw as like a big theme in the movie was a sort of conflict between coincidence and fate. Because the whole time he seemed to like be going through the story and believing in like true love and everything just gonna like kind of unfold in front of him. I mean, he's a greeting card writer. You kind of must not have very much ambition to do that.
The guy needs to accept reality.
Yeah, and then whereas she's there because she has to be, and she just kind of, you know, sees. I got lost. what I was trying to
Well,
say.
I think it's kind of funny how Kelsey was saying earlier about like he's going out with someone named Summer and then he meets someone named Autumn. Like, is there like some weird significance to the names, like them being the season?
Well,
It kind of reminded me like he has to move on. Like how
Yeah.
the seasons always change.
Yeah.
He kind of has to adapt with that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He changes, and then at the very end, you know, his sort of outlook on the whole thing changes, too. And so does hers. Like, you know, there's a scene at the very end where they're on the park bench, and she says how he was right the whole time, and that there is true love. Whereas he's kind of thinking the opposite now.
Yeah.
Totally
He kind of just has to
different.
wait for the right person.
Watch it anyway, Kevin.
You will love it, Kevin. It's
I
a
can cut it
romantic
out from my
comedy.
memory.
Kevin doesn't like movies. He hates
I hate
movies.
That explains why you're in this class.
As they're doing a movie review.
Graduate! Okay.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought that was
Productive. Oh, death.
Well, like I mean, there were a couple of pauses in there.
yeah.
There goes out. Like, zoom.
Plus, there was something I was talking about where I kind of lost my train of thought. And I was
That's
like,
fine though.
Never
People-
mind.
Like that's
Oh, I'm so tired.
at least that was more natural than be like,
Wait.
And
That's what Lexi does. She just like stops and like stares at the
but
camera.
yeah, Lexi's like, and
I get scared. I get scared. I hate the
Michael
they grab-
Anthony
they grab-
Hall. That's how you handle this.
I can't. I don't like being in front of the camera. You do?
Well, I mean,
Lauren,
some
film for her.
Not that I'm like amazing at this, but it's fun.
I think we need to have more like funny banter in there.
Okay, well,
Yeah, because we weren't that funny. Okay, I like the 500 days thing though.
Yeah.
The 500, like, oh, that's what it means. That
I
was
didn't
good stuff.
get
We need
that,
to get
though.
on. Yeah, neither did I until I like watched the whole movie.
I literally thought
And then
we were
like
just talking
it hit
about
the
this
500
season.
mark and he met Autumn. I was like, oh, I get it.
See, I was gonna ask you about the whole, because like we saw like it says like day whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like was there a significance to like how it skipped days?
Well, yeah, because they
To
were
show
talking.
how
Well, I mean,
happy
like, I
he was.
Like to
understand.
show
that
before
it
and
was.
after. Like I only remember seeing that one scene, and it was just showing like the before after how everything was all happy, and then like you
Yeah.
see
I mean,
him,
like-
and he goes into the elevator all happy, and then like comes out and he's like drawn like.
But do you get the information between the days? Do they tell you all that background
Well,
stuff?
yeah, I'm sure if you watch the whole movie, you
Well,
would be
okay,
Well,
confused.
it
that's
kind
why-
of
that's why I'm
pieces it
asking.
together.
It
Yeah.
kind of gets
Common sense.
confusing a little bit, but you kind of know what's going on. It's just showing the ups and downs of his life.
You get a little lost in the story, but it just feels like you're looking back on, you know, all these things that have happened. Like when you go back in your mind and look at, you know, things, you don't always think about them in order.
Reminiscence.
In the end, you kind of piece it together, and Summer just turns out to be an awful person.
I
she
loved
does to
her. I liked her.
Does he
Well,
know
why would she
Winter?
be awful? Like, why do you think she's awful?
Because she just kept using him over and over again and making him think he was in a relationship when really she had nothing to do with him.
I didn't feel like she was using him, and I found her very relatable.
Was there a reason they used Summer as opposed to like Spring or something to be the first girl? Like,
How many people do you know have the name Spring?
Lots of them.
Well, maybe like April.
I know a few Summers.
I know a couple summers, and I knew an autumn, and I knew a
I-
Tuesday,
yeah,
but I've
I-
never met a
and then
spring. The third movie I'm going to be talking to you about today is The Breakfast Club, which was directed by John Hughes in 1985. The movie stars Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall, Ali Sheedy, and Emilio Estevez. So The Breakfast Club is a movie about a group of teenagers who have to spend their Saturday morning in detention. And it is a classic coming-to-age film about overcoming stereotypes and making friends with people you wouldn't normally make friends with. Now, what did you guys think of that movie?
I really loved it, and I thought it was hilarious.
I agree, it was really funny.
I thought the movie was really realistic to teenagers today. Like, we can always relate to some character in the movie or some situation.
Yeah, because they were very like solid characters. They each kind of represented like a different kind of person that's in school, like a jock, or like the popular girl, and
Or the
maybe
weird girl.
the nerd.
The nerd, yeah. And
Oh.
yeah.
You guys are talking about yourself.
You haven't even seen it, so you're sort of lame.
Yeah, I am sort of lame. I'm sorry.
The last movie we're going to talk to you about today is The Graduate, film directed by Mike Nichols.
This movie is about a student who recently graduated college, and he's on his way to find himself. But on his way, he meets up with a very interesting family friend who tries to seduce him and eventually leads to his own, what's the word?
Downfall.
Downfall. That's a perfect word. So, how did you guys feel? Like, this had a really weird storyline to me. Did you guys think the same thing?
It was really awkward, but I loved the movie.
I liked it, but I didn't know why.
I thought it was very odd too, but when it was over, I was like, huh, I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's kind of like has those things like when you're really passionate about something, and like let's say you work at something for so long, and then when it comes to like the end of like what you're supposed to do, like what am I supposed to do next? It was one of those things. It's very relatable.
It's like anticipating something really great, and then it just turns out to be sort of regular.
Yeah. Like you had too many high hopes for it, and it didn't work out.
Like the whole beginning, it threw me off. Like
he was having a graduation party. How'd that throw you off?
Oh, not that.
Well, I think he means the family friend.
The little.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of having an affair with like, you know, a lady who was at least 20 years older than him. That happens every day, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Like we all know that.
You do. Wow. Would you like to share about that?
No. It's not about that. So, how did you guys feel about the scene where he's scuba diving in his pool?
Why would you scuba dive in your own pool? I mean, I have an ocean for that.
That's weird. I think that the only reason he did it is because his parents spent all this money on a scuba diving outfit for him for no apparent reason.
Yeah, what's that?
And they make him go in his pool. I don't know. I think he was kind of a pushover. Like, honestly, he let people do whatever. Like, I think that Ben was a pushover because he did whatever anyone asked him to do. Like Mrs. Robinson, she was like, if you ever want to do anything, just let me know. And then like one day he's feeling lonely, and lo and behold, he goes and hangs out and does, you know.
See, but he had enough self-control the first time around to say no.
Yeah, but I think he was just feeling like all kinds of pressure from like people around him, and it didn't exactly go well with like his like life. That was weird. Banter.
Back to the scuba diving part.
Okay, wait. The dimensions of the pool were way off.
Didn't they say it was 6 feet?
6-foot pool, and he
And
was
he's all the way down at the bottom.
He was on the bottom, and there was like the ladder to climb up was taller than he was.
Well, because you float in water. You float in water. He can't drown. He was in a scuba thing. Like, he has certain
What if
amount
he
of
had a leak?
What if he didn't have air?
He would have drowned, and that would have been sad.
See?
And that would have been the end of the movie.
He drowned.
Well, thanks, Gilmore.
Oh, I see how it is.